Hello there, folks. This is a very, very special occasion. So let me run the special occasion opener. Normally I hit that trigger, but I'm absolutely nervous. I'm fanboying out. You should have heard the conversation right before this thing started. It was amazing. Very nerdy, but super awesome. I am Mac, aka Mr. Burger, and that guy over there is introduce yourself to the lovely people.
I'm Daniel Roboshkin, owner and creative director of Make.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're going to show you some of their work coming up. But I am so happy and so proud and so incredibly lucky to get this guy on to talk about some of his stuff. If you are not watching Makes Originals, what the hell is wrong with you? They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you, not blowing too much smoke up any orifices, but dealing with and talking to Make Originals is sort of like going back in time and talking to the guys that set up Illumination or the guys that set up what's the other one? Skydance. Not Sky. Is it Skydance? Not
Skydance,
Skydance.
yeah.
Yeah. And before they became big, there is no way this company, this guy, and his group of pirates, bandits, if you will, of the animation world are not going to blow up. And you will be agree with me on that in just a few minutes. So without further ado, let's start asking some questions. Danny, please give us a bit of a background of who you are and what you do.
All right. As the owner creative director at Make, basically we do commercials and brand films. That's kind of the main focus and has been for almost 20 years now, as we were discussing. In the last several years, we really decided to take what we were doing with our short films and our experiments and our Instagram channels and stuff like that, and really focus it on character, narrative, storytelling, micro shorts, so really, really short format, and try and get a bunch of these small 1 minute, minute and a half episodes out there, exploring different styles, different characters, different worlds, different stories. And that's been our kind of, side quest for the last couple years.
How many people do you actually have in your merry band of creatives? How many people you actually got there?
So the studio is now at about 30 people, and
Wow, wow, wow.
yeah, so pretty decent number, a nice combination of 2D, 3D artists, mostly what I call generalists with specialties, basically. So people that do a little bit of everything, but definitely have a focus. And we have storytellers, writers, animators, modelers. We really try to do as much of the work in-house and kind of have the artists both direct and produce it all. But we do on occasion do collaborations and work with people just, to be able to get, when we get towards like the end of a project and we want to stay on our self-imposed deadlines, try and get it out there a little bit quicker.
As we get into more details about the team, let me share a bit of work that they've done. Some of my favorite stuff of theirs. It blows you away. Get ready to have your socks knocked off. Here we go. Absolutely brilliant. Top notch stuff. Amazing. Like I said, folks, this is before the greatness. This is before you let me again. I'll say it again. You're looking at the Illuminations, the Skydance before they become super huge. Who's delivering that level of quality in the mainstream? Come on. There's a few, but most of them are blowing it. The comedy's there, the quality's there. It's amazing. Got to stop gushing. I'll stop with the fanboy
No,
stuff
no,
there, but
you keep it going. Why not?
it's amazing stuff. And to think that it's just a small band of heroes producing this stuff, it makes it even more cooler. Tell us a little bit about Brave Hurts, will ya?
Yeah, so Bravehearts is obviously a nice example of 3D animation that we do. It's actually the last of the like 30 sub 30 second shorts that we're probably going to be doing for a while. Everything is going to be like 1.5, maybe even 2 minutes. But that really kind of when starting out, wanting to make sure that we can produce like a lot of episodes, so we kept them a little bit shorter, focused really on that kind of like comic strip sense of humor, where you really are setting up like one obstacle to get through. And then, of course, they get through it, but not the way that you would expect necessarily. So it really is kind of like our sense of humor. It's a little morbid, it's a little silly, but
A little bit,
always,
yeah, dark humor, but it's well played and it's well executed.
yeah.
My goodness. Folks, the link is in the description below. Go on over and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Do yourself a favor. Everybody on the refeed, everybody watching live, we usually do pretty big business on the refeed. And by God, follow these guys on X/Twitter. Support them in everything that they do. Speaking of everything that they do, uh, what's the overall let's say what's the overall plan for something like Brave Hurts? Are you looking to make a deal with somebody? Are you looking to expand it? What are you looking to do with that particular project?
Well, so Braveheart specifically kind of had its run.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone wants to pick it up, if for whatever reason more people see it and it kind of blows up and more episodes are demanded, we'll definitely do that. But the idea is to create these I don't know, 6 to 9 episode runs and then get them out there and then move on to the next one and then maybe later come back to them. But currently, the agenda is to get every about 4 months, get another series out, another concept out, and really show our range and really show our creativity. It's mostly a showcase at this point, but we have Bravehearts, we have Explorers, we have Dead Moon. If anyone wants to see more of that, and
And
there's
we're
the
getting up
support
to
for it, we'll do it.
one of your big 2D ones right now. Check this out, folks.
But it's not coming soon. It's out now.
It's actually out now. You can go to their YouTube channel and check it out. It is amazing. Of course, tell us a little bit about that. That is, of course, go ahead. House of, go ahead. I
Yeah,
mean,
House of the Outlands. Yeah, so that's our current 2D project. And I don't know if you've noticed the pattern, but we alternate 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D, just to kind of
mix it
smooth
up.
it out within our pipeline, so that we're at any given point, the 3D guys are working on one stage of a show, and the 2D guys are working on a similar stage of the show, and they kind of like leapfrog each other. But yeah, House of the Outlands, I think those episodes are a minute long, a little bit longer if you include the intro. Now we're starting to introduce, voiceover actors, starting to tell a little bit more of a story, making everything a little bit longer. And yeah, I think that the show is like really fun because again, you still get that, you're setting up that obstacle and you have to get past it, but now there's a little bit more of a reasoning for it, a little bit more setup. And if you watch through the episodes, we're kind of leading to something for the 6th episode that will hopefully tease to a potential continuation
Let me tell
in
you
future.
something, folks. That not only is the animation tip top notch, the dialogue is amazing. It reminds me a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it is the overall writing the overall structure of it's very difficult to tell a complete, satisfying story in just a minute. And these guys managed to pull Danny and the crew managed to pull that off exceedingly well. Tell us a little bit about the writing. We've talked a lot about the animation and the technical aspects here. Let's talk about the writing. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? It's crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, I'm not taking credit for any of the animation or any of the writing. I am a facilitator at best. But the guys at the studio, I mean, have a lot of experience writing, storyboarding, telling stories for commercials. And
Mm-hmm.
commercials are kind of by definition, you're trying to tell a story in like 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds if you're doing like a longer spot. So our muscle is already geared towards this kind of storytelling. So now we're kind of taking that, and now we're adding just more entertainment, and you can kind of like shed the product component of it all. So yeah, I mean, the so far all the content is written by artists here in the studio. We generally will have like a pitch where people will kind of have their ideas, and then whichever idea we go through, they become the lead writer on the project, and they'll start putting the scripts together. But then there are other writers in the studio that will maybe write some episodes or maybe help with like dialogue and things like that. So just like any of the work that we do here on our commercials, same thing with our originals, team effort. People have to work and collaborate with each other. I think that's a lot of fun.
I'm speaking for myself at this point. Danny's not saying this. I'm saying this. Tell me something that has come out of the House of Mouse that is that good, that is that coherent, that is that quality based. They will go nameless. We'll just refer to them as the House of Mouse. That is that awesome. And that's just the beginning of it, folks. Go over to their YouTube channel, subscribe, follow these guys, and get more. And you will literally go blind from awesomeness. That's a quote from Kung Fu Panda. If you haven't picked up on it, very clever how I slipped that in. Listen, we're getting there. We got about 3 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say or get out before we wrap this up? Again, I appreciate this, folks. Again, let me stress again what an amazing studio this guy's running. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I appreciate all the kind words. I want to just direct them right on to all the artists, all the writers, the guys in the studio, the guys outside of the studio that have been helping us. It's hopefully it shows that it's kind of a passion project. You know, something that we're just always very excited to work on. It helps us grow our skills. It helps us explore again the different styles and let people develop and grow as well. I think a big thing that we didn't really talk about that is really important is the sense of community. So if you go to our X or Instagram or even just on YouTube, if you look at the shorts, we're always posting behind the scenes content.
That is true.
So we
That is
don't
true.
hide anything. Like I can tell you that the next show that's coming out is Mythico, a fantasy office parody. The thing after that is Sunny Side Down. It's a show that's kind of takes the diner scene from Spaceballs and builds like a show around that essentially. We're sharing all the stuff that we're working on right now and in the future. Any question that you want to ask about the show, we try to answer almost every single one of them. So there's full transparency because we want people to kind of be along for the journey, learn from what we're doing, the things that work, the things that don't work, and yeah, just build a community around this stuff.
Not only is these guys transparent, which they are extremely transparent, as you said, a lot of behind the scenes stuff with good info for up and comers, but they are totally amicable. We're a fairly decent sized channel, but for this guy to take his time out of his day to come on over and talk to just a humble black guy in the U.S. who does mostly game shows and a little bit of animation on the side. What a swell fella. folks, that's gonna wrap it up. Hey, we got in with 2 seconds. It's
Beautiful.
supposed to be a tight 15. Thank you so much, Danny. Thank you so much. And folks, this should be a series. We're going to try and do a series of this with other people that are involved in the studio and get them in here talking about this. I am an evangelist for this group. They are awesome. And heck, who knows? You may see why aren't these guys on Tubi? Why aren't they on Netflix? Why aren't they all over Warner Brothers? Where's their multi-million-dollar contract? I'm gonna see to it. You understand?
Appreciate it.
My personal guarantee. All right, folks. This has been Mr. Burger Mac, aka Mr. Burger. That dude over there has been
Dandor Boschkin, and thank you very much for having me here.
Yep. So, as we say in closing from the Church of John Malin's Eyebrows, we wish you love, a peace. Hang on, let me get to the trigger. Love, a peace, and a chicken grease. We're out. We're out.